Selector charged in Westmoreland murder case. The police have charged a sound selector with murder following an incident along the McField Main Road in Withorn, Westmoreland on Thursday, May 2nd. The accused has been identified as 33-year-old Troy Campbell of Horton Grove, Rumble in Hanover. Campbell is charged with the murder of 43-year-old Dwayne Otti, otherwise called Sparrow, a mechanic of Betterton in Westmoreland. According to the police, about 9:15 p.m., citizens heard explosions and summoned them. On their arrival, Otti was seen lying face down in a pool of blood with gunshot wounds to the upper body. He was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police said Campbell was taken into custody after an investigation was launched. He was subsequently charged on Monday, May 20 after an interview in the presence of his attorney. Vols saddened over passing of USF CEO. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport Darrell Vols has expressed deep sadness over the passing of Dr. Daniel Dawes, Chief Executive Officer of the Universal Service Fund. According to reports, Dr. Dawes was found unresponsive at his home on Friday. I am still in shock at Daniel's untimely passing. He was not only dedicated to the work of the people, but a man with a great presence. To his family and the staff of the USF, I send my deepest condolences and prayers as they go through this very devastating time, Minister Vols stated. Dr. Dawes was appointed to the post of CEO at the state-owned USF in January 2019. The USF, through their known community Wi-Fi program, has provided internet access to vulnerable communities across Jamaica. CPFSA says 126 of the children who went missing last year have not yet been found. Of the 100,029 reports of missing children received last year, 126 children have not yet been found. An under-alert officer of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, Ms. Roberts, made the revelation at the Ananda Alert Regional Conference in Kingston. She said over 900 of the children were located alive, while one was found dead. Ms. Roberts says St. Catherine has the highest number of missing children reports. She further stated that the children who went missing, approximately 82% are girls and 18% are boys. Ms. Roberts added that over 90% of children reported missing are teenagers. The Ananda Alert officer said there are cases where children reported missing have returned home, but parents or guardians do not inform the authorities. The Ananda Alert Regional Conference is being held under the theme, Strengthening Responses to Missing Children, a regional exchange of good practices.
The majority, so while we see a lot of children going missing, the majority of them are successfully recovered or located. So the most of them are at home. Over 900 children have been located, with 126 still missing. And one child, out of the children reported missing last year, one child was found to be deceased. St. Catherine has the highest number of reports. The lighter shaded parishes, so Portland and Hanover, have the least number of reports. And year to year, these parishes have the least, they consistently record the least number of reports. St. Catherine consistently records the highest number of reports. The only competition might be whether it's between St. Catherine North or St. Catherine South, but it is always St. Catherine. So we see our Bogwalk and our Uwaton and so on competing with our Portmore or Spanish Town, Old Harbour, and so on. So Hanover and Portland, 6 and 10 reports respectively, and then St. Catherine almost 300. Now, St. Catherine is a big parish. It's heavily populated, so we can expect that. And Kingston and St. Andrew, very small, but very urban, very populated nonetheless. So we're seeing a lot of reports coming out of these parishes as well. So in this case, the 82% represents 843 reports, while the 18% for boys is 186 reports. Now, age group, 0 to 5 years old. we have 1%. 1% might not seem like a whole lot statistically, but it is 11 reports. Out of the 1,029, 11 reports were for children 0 to 5 years old. And we do not suspect that these children are running away. What we're seeing a lot of times is it's some situation with family dynamics, maybe some disagreement, re-custody arrangements, and so on. Then our 6 to 11-year-olds, 4.5% of the reports. And of course, our teenagers, 94% of the reports were for our teenagers, including 12-year-olds, so 12 to 17. The 15 to 17 is slightly higher. But nonetheless, it's our teenagers that we're seeing predominantly being reported missing. And in our context, we are suspecting runaway behavior or voluntarily choosing to leave home. We have a challenge where there are instances in which parents do not report that the child has returned home, right? So the child returns home and the parent just doesn't go back to the station for a number of reasons. One of them being fear that our child protection agency, us, CPFSA, will remove that child from their care. No, that is not automatically true. So it's not something that parents need to be worried about. If your child returns home, inform us. If we call you to ask, again, tell the truth, and we will work with you to address that situation. You don't have to hide it because of fear of what we are going to do.
Bishop urges churches to help maintain Pine River Cemetery. Churches in St. James are being urged to contribute to the upkeep and maintenance of Pine River Cemetery. The appeal comes from Custos of St. James Bishop Conrad Pitkin, who highlighted that there are several churches that have a vested interest in the land that has, for years, been the primary burial ground for individuals in and around Montego Bay. Churches that have a spot in there with their members, and maybe some of their pastors are buried in there too. I am hoping that they will come on board and even help to maintain the plot they have, he told reporters on Thursday during a cleanup of the decrepit state of cemetery. Work is expected to continue long past Labor Day until the burial ground is restored to some of its former glory. The focus on cleaning the cemetery comes after a reporter series over the past few weeks exposing the disgraceful state of public burial grounds. Throughout the day, volunteers removed trees and shrubs from a large lot of 15-acre property, leaving areas accessible, for the first time in months, to people who want to visit the final resting place of their loved ones. I'm very elated today to see the mayor and the council have taken this position to begin the process of bringing back the Pine River Cemetery to some semblance of decency, said Bishop Pitkin, who has presided over a number of funerals there over the years. Also welcoming the improvement was Antoinette Rosdom, who joined her relative who visited the cemetery and cleaned her grandmother's grave. "It's a good look, man," she remarked. She said during the past visit it had been difficult to get to the grave. "We have to bring machete and chop and come in and do what we have to do," she explained. Now, she said, she is able to walk freely to the grave, sight and only has to focus on cleaning the area where her grandmother remains are interred. Encouraged by the result of the day work, the custos is determined to see it continue. "I'll be the first to encourage my members to get on board and come and do what they can, just as they would do up to the new burial park. They will be able to come here and lay a flower or basket of their loved one's grave," he stated. "My recommendation is that the council put in place a committee that will see the constant maintenance of the cemetery," he suggested. While not specifically pointing to a committee, Mayor of Montego Bay Councillor Richard Vernon said measures would be implemented to maintain the cemetery. "Going forward, we will be assigning dedicated persons to the cemetery," he stated. "The cemetery is closed. Normally, you would have a cemetery keeper at a cemetery, but the cemetery is unofficially closed," he pointed out. He said that the official closure of the facility will soon be gazetted to ensure that it does not once again fall into disrepair. Pine River Cemetery was closed after it ran out of space, but there are other facilities in St. James. For the other 13 cemeteries, we have approximately 4,900 spaces, and based on the application rate that we experience at the municipal corporation, that will take us into another 17 years, the mayor revealed. However, he admitted that this won't be enough and that the search for a location for a new cemetery is on, even outside of the parish. We may even have conversation with our neighboring municipalities to look at a regional cemetery, and if we cannot identify that, we have to look at a cemetery within the municipality that we can dedicate to the public use, Vernon stated. During Thursday's cleanup, a ramp was also built to provide access for the disabled in keeping with their Labor Day project theme, Ramp Up the Access, Show Your Care. The mayor said lights will also be installed later with the help of Jamaica Public Service Limited to illuminate the cemetery. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.